Son, I can't get over how big that jersey looks on you. Hey, man, you already know what it is.
Let me.
My dog's swimming, man. Yo, look, if you jump out of a plane, you good.
I was wearing it. I got it so I could wear shoulder pads underneath it.
Wow. Hey, man, you already know what it is, man. It's that You Heard podcast. It's your boy Ben and Joe. We got a special guest on the show and a surprise, man.
Nah,
we're gonna kick it with a.
Don't even worry about it.
Don't even worry about it. We got questions.
We got questions. He said that. No surprises.
Yeah, erase, control, alt, delete. Let's get into this intro. Let's talk, man. We got some things we got to talk about. Let's get it.
Welcome to the You Heard podcast.
I'm hurt, dog.
Ben and Joe break down all things Miami Hurricanes football.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Hell no.
From hot topics to pre- and post-game analysis.
Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
You heard.
I put my heart in this, dog.
Ladies and gentlemen, you see him down there with that thumbnail with you know what I'm saying, Lamar Miller. Brad Tejeda is on the show from CanesInsight. Let's give it up.
Yep.
What up, Brad? Welcome to the show, baby. Chilling, man.
What's going on, fellas?
Kicking it. What's popping?
Not much, man. It's a pleasure to be on y'all's show, man. Y'all been doing y'all's thing like we've been talking about off air, man. I'm really happy for y'all, fellas, and y'all keep grinding, putting in that work, man. None but love for the youth. So you gotta appreciate anybody that puts in that work like y'all do.
No doubt, man.
Appreciate it, man.
So, Brad, listen, real quick.
Just jump.
We get this out the way.
Go ahead.
Are you a Marvel guy? Do you watch Marvel?
Oh, that's what we doing? Okay, all right.
Oh man, no, I'm not a Marvel guy, unfortunately, Joe.
All right. Well, we can't even
argue. Can't ask him to stop.
Nah.
Yeah, we were about to. All right, look,
good.
Right now, serious conversation now. All right, this is Joe. Joe always wants to start with the jokes. Let's get serious. Hey, how different is this spring from last spring? As far as what you're hearing.
If I could put it into one word, I would say intensity. I think the intensity of this program has taken it up a couple notches, whether that's recruiting, whether that's current players on the team, whether that's coaching staff, whether that's the future of where this program is heading. I just think the intensity, man, like first and foremost, first-year head coach Mario Cristobal, he brings in, some guys that he's well familiar with, like the Alex Maraballs of the world, Coach Fields, keeping him back with the program, having Coach Woodell, who obviously just got promoted to tight end coach, who was over at Oregon with him as well. But, his first year as a head coach, man, he had a lot of pressure on his shoulders, coming back to his alma mater program, knowing, what has to be done for this university. There was a couple coaching hires that were just kind of like too good to be true because just the name that were associated with the title. And it was like, you know what? Why not go get a Broyles Award winner? Why not go get, two proven defensive guys and a Charlie Strong and a coach, Kevin Steele. And unfortunately, I think the direction of where the program needed to go, like the complete reset, especially the mentality of these young men on the football team, you couldn't have coaches on this staff that were just very content. You know what I mean? I think the intensity and the overall drive and energy of this program needed to take it up a couple notches. And I think Mario and a couple other guys had that, but I don't think it overall meshed as a staff. And what you're seeing this year is a lot of different changes where the newer hires on this staff is matching very well with the players on this team, the camaraderie, the relationships. They're very relatable, and it's a lot of coaches on the staff now that are not necessarily proven, but they have a lot to still prove, whether that's guys that you're bringing from a smaller conference or whether that's guys that are coming back to their hometown and want to put on for the youth.
All right.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, Brad, man. You made a good point about the coaches being content. Like that can work at a place like Alabama because they're already established. They have their culture in place. They're already winning. They have, the understanding of the head guy, Coach Saban. So you can bring in established coaches who don't have to be rah-rah and intense. They can just coach. You know what I mean? They can just X and O. You know what I mean? Scheme you to death. But, what we have now, we need intensity. We need developers and
teachers.
teachers, man. Are you hearing how are the players adapting to the coaches right now? Like, how do they feel about the coaching?
From a few players I've talked to personally, they're loving the new intensity and what the fire and the passion that they constantly feel tested every single day that they're going out on Green Tree, whether that's in the weight program, whether that's in the classroom, or whether that's on the football field. They're constantly being tested to reach newer heights and abilities that they never thought could be true. And I think, to get the best out of a human being and a football player, because you got to think at the end of the day, even though we're rooting for the jersey number on the back, these are human beings. At the end of the day, they need to get a degree. They need to do what they can do off the football field as well as on the football field. And you're seeing a lot more guys that they're bringing in just has that what it takes. I think when you look back on history, especially the last 5 to 7 years for this program, it's very telling that your number one leader on and off the football field are transfer guys. And that's not what you want in a program when you're trying to build it the right way. You want to bring it from the ground up. You want to have more Cam Kitchens on your football team. And I think you're starting to slowly see that as far as the recruiting aspect. You got a Reuben Bain that can now come in and cement himself. You got a guy like Francis Maigoa who can come and cement himself, a Robbie Washington, a Bobby Washington, a Ray. These are all young men that not only want to put on for their city or put on for the U, man, but they just got that mentality on and off the football field where, like, this is not just a job to me. This is a dream and an opportunity to get to where I need to be. And you got to have guys that can push and drive you to that. And I think guys like Coach Jason Taylor, guys like Coach Lance Guidry, I think Lance Guidry in particular, him and Kevin Beard are probably the two biggest hires we've had in a long time for this program. I think Kevin Beard, what he's going to transform this wide receiver room, not only currently, but in the future, is something that I don't think Miami has seen in a very long time as far as a technical aspect as well as a relatability, as far as being on the same page with these kids on and off the football field. And I think Lance Guidry, he's going to bring that fire and passion and that nastiness that you remember as a Miami Hurricane fan when it comes to the defensive side of the ball. And I also think he lights a extra fire and infuse under a guy like Coach Adai, who I think was very content the last year or two, having a guy like Kevin Steele and Charlie Strong. He felt very relaxed at times, in my opinion. I think when you have a guy like Lance Guidry, you always got to be on your toes. And I like that. I think it's always going to bring the best out of this defense.
All right, said a lot. Let's try to unpack some of that. With Kevin Beard, right? We broke it down last episode about how he's gonna teach these kids how to fail. You've already not teach these kids how to fail, teach them how to deal with failure.
Yes,
that'd be a terrible thing to teach, right? Hey man, let me teach you how to fail. Drop every ball. Hey, we've already seen that. Let's look at last year. With KB, right? I've already seen the differences, and I hear the chatter about the growth of Jacoby George, right? What other receivers are we to look out for? I know the whole talk is like get transfer portal guys, but the guys that are here, what other receivers are we to look out for in this upcoming season? And after that, what do you really think we need in the transfer portal? And do you see some attrition still happening after this spring?
Yeah, I think as far as guys to look out for, especially going from fall to spring, is going to be Colby Young. Me and Malik Rozier got to speak to him a couple weeks ago. We even had Rashawn Scott on the phone with us too. And, Rashawn Scott was a receiver that was coached by Kevin Beard. So he had a lot of good input and things, for Colby Young to work on. And Colby Young was straight up, man. He was like, man, as soon as Kevin Beard got here, like, I knew it was time to work. Like, he has taught me, get off moves and certain techniques that he's teaching me. But he's not teaching a Robbie Washington or a Xavier Restrepo those same techniques because he understands the adaptability of what you need per receiver based off their skill position, right? This is a guy that was in the same receiver room as Reggie Wayne, Santana Moss, Andre Johnson. So, having a young guy like Colby Young who transferred, from a small school JUCO and coming in his first year at Miami, it was funny when we talked to him, his first D1 offer was from Virginia Tech, and his first time starting as wide receiver for the University of Miami was against Virginia Tech, and that's when he had that 100+ yards receiving, big touchdown. So he came into that game with a lot to prove and a lot of, weight on his shoulders that he wanted to be that guy, not only for the U, but to prove Virginia Tech, like, I passed on that opportunity for better. So a guy like Colby Young is someone to look out for. Although he's in a red practice jersey on the last few practices, he should be good to go. I think a guy in Ray Washington and Robbie Washington, those are going to be the two guys to look out for, in my opinion. I think they both have shown a lot of flashes in fall practice, in spring practice. And I think it's actually going to kind of light the fire under someone like a Brashard Smith, to where, you're going to have to kick it into an extra gear because, when you're not getting the ball and when you're not getting snaps, these other guys that are behind you are making the best out of every opportunity. A guy in Ray and Robbie, these are two young men that when they get the ball in their hands, they can take it the distance any single time. And I think they're going to bring a lot of diversity to the table. And then just as far as the future, I think the University of Miami needs to go after a transfer portal guy who potentially only has 1 year left. Comes into this program with a lot to prove. Whether that's, having another veteran type of mentality like a KJ Osborne or Charleston Rambo. But I just think the more competition, the better in that room. And if a guy that only has 1 year left and is coming into this program knowing like, hey, this is my money year, I think it's going to light a fire under some of these other guys. Because, you're not hearing from a Michael Redding or Frank Ladson right now. So there's no telling what's going to happen with those guys in the future.
Truth. Brad, should we be gassed up right now, man? Like, should we be
That's a legit
excited? Not excited, man. Why should we be excited right now? As opposed to this time last year, why should we be excited? Why should we think anything different is going to happen this year?
Before I answer that question, I think we all can agree, us as Miami Hurricane fans, when it gets to this time of the year, the live season is beginning, right?
Heavy.
Like we're already starting live,
yes.
And I think after the 15th season, we're on number 16 season. I think this is where we start to realize, like, all right, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We're not going 12-0. We're not going 11-1. We may not even go 10-2, but 8-9 wins, I think that is a great stepping stone for this program. But to answer your question, the reason why you should be happy is because of one word: trenches. I think the trenches, you're slowly starting to see why a hire Mario Cristobal was the right move for this university. Not only because of coming back to his alma mater, doing it for the city, for the Columbus High School, for his family, for the friends. But, bro, we've been needing the trenches for a very long time. It's been so long to be able to sit back and be like, yo, we have a legit argument of who the starting five should be. Like our number one offensive lineman a year and a half ago, and Zion Nelson, people are already writing him off. What if he does come back healthy? Then what happens? Is he the sixth man in rotation? Do you move a DJ Scape to the inside? Do you have someone in Francis Maigoa or Inez Cooper, coming off at the six-man rotation? Like, these are great problems to have that us as Miami Hurricane fans, I don't think have been able to appreciate yet because, we're just not used to it. And I think these are good problems to have. And once you get into that realm of the University of Georgia's, the University of Alabama's, these are problems that they're having every single year. So you're starting to see a little bit of what it looks like to be a top tier program. And, to your point, the other answer would be competition. I think the competition and the development, you're already starting to see within 6 months to a year that these guys are making a bigger jump than guys that have been in the program for 3+ years. And that has a lot to do with coaching staff and development. It's going to be exciting to watch, man, because there's a lot of young guys on this football team that are pushing some of these older cats. I think a guy like Jafari Harvey this year, I think he has a lot to prove this year. I think someone in, Tyler Van Dyke, I think with this new offensive scheme, you better start stepping it up because you have young guys like Jakari Brown, Emory Williams, no telling who we get in the transfer portal. This is going to be all gas, no brakes, man, because all these young men are going to now be put in situations that work to their benefit. And I think that was a big downfall for us in the past years.
So I've always been the last 15 years, right? I've been like a glass half empty guy, where I'm like I'm looking at it, but I'm like, you know, because you see the struggles, you see the bad losses, and now with this, and you're right, like I don't know how to recognize a competent coaching staff that develops from the trenches. Right, it's always been like get that big name outside receiver, get a big time quarterback, 5-star from California, yada yada yada. With building with the trenches, right? It's his first full year doing it. So yes, we have more depth, but past those first 7, right? First 8, it gets a little thinner. So we kind of have to just being the other side. We kind of have to hope a healthy year, right? Because there's a depth issue, right? Like the numbers aren't there in total. Like the drop off between those 7, right, to the next 5 is different. The receivers, the first 4 or 5 to the next 4 or 5 is a huge drop off. So I want like we don't want to give predictions on I don't want to give predictions on the show because I think it's gonna be different next in the fall. But as far as I don't know how to say this without just sounding like crazy. Like it's crazy that our best players are freshmen, right? And our best players are transfers. Like in the last couple of years, you go back to Jalen Phillips and Quincy Roche. You know what I mean? Like the one that did develop was Greg Rousseau. Like where and why have we failed so many times at that? That the guy coming in from a different program, coming in from JUCO, is our best receiver when you know what I'm saying other players have been here, not to say names.
Yeah, man. I just think the overall talent acquisition, man. I think we constantly picked out the wrong batch, whether it's picking the wrong guy that doesn't meet the talent expectations for this program or doesn't meet the mentality, you know, when it comes to this program of what we expect, or, you know, just getting a guy where, you know, he has all the talent in the world, but we don't know how to scheme it up correctly and putting him in the right situations. You know, someone like a Jeff Thomas, like I think a guy in a Jeff Thomas in this offense of what we're going into now, like it's dangerous. It's ridiculous.
Trouble.
That hurts my feelings, man. Like
you know what I mean? So it's
you
like
you see our reactions? Like you just told us Mufasa died. Like yo.
But I mean, I just think, man, bro, when you got guys like, you know, a guy like Coach Andrew Rogers, you know, coming from Michigan State, who is very familiar with the transfer portal and the talent acquisition of, you know, how to get the right type of players and bring them in. You know, a guy like Alonzo Highsmith, you know, who has done so much behind the scenes for this program, where, you know, bringing in a guy like Colby Young, you know, that is, you know, someone that Alonzo Highsmith, I picked out, him and Mario Cristobal. So being able to get a higher standpoint when it comes to the eye test of finding the right type of guys, you know, I think the next 2 years, you're going to slowly start to see this team go in a very big direction, in my opinion. I think 2025, that's going to be here to watch the Miami Hurricanes, where I think we could really make some noise. How this basketball team, men and women's, did this past season.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, man, that Jeff Thomas thing, man,
that hurt you. I know, as a receiver.
All right, Brad. Recruiting.
He hurt, dog. Oh, he hurt. Look at.
Don't ask me if my heart.
Can we? Yeah, man, that Jeff Thomas thing hurt, man. I
don't know how to recover. You need a second.
Yo, Jeff Thomas was my guy, man. When he came out, man. Man.
He was different.
Yeah, man.
Facts.
Can you talk recruiting, Brian?
Of course, yeah. What's
okay.
up?
So, firstly, have you heard what everybody else is hearing regarding Air Nolan? Is that what you're hearing, that he's OSU lock or whatever? And
listen,
and one more. If that's the case, who's next up at the quarterback position?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, I mean, anybody that's followed recruiting, I think the writing's been on the wall as far as the last month or two, where, you know, I think the whole coaching staff and anybody that follows recruiting, they kind of had that date circled as far as when he visited Ohio State. Because anyone that's followed Aaron Nolan's recruiting process, you know, from the state of Georgia, this is a young man where, you know, he's really had love for the University of Ohio State. This is, you know, I hate to say the quote, but this was his dream offer. And he didn't get the offer yet. And I think until he took the visit, even though there was a lot of chatter between Texas A&M and Miami, I was 100% confident that he was going to be a Miami Hurricane if it was between those two schools. But again, we had this date circled for a while now where what's going to happen when he goes to Ohio State. And, of course, they pull the trigger. They offer him. It's going to be hard to pass that up. I think he's going to be very torn between the two, in my opinion. I think there's a lot more going on behind the scenes than what people think. From what I know, especially his parents, who are heavily involved in the recruiting process, they love Miami a lot, like a lot. They feel really comfortable with the staff and, not just on the football field, but, a lot of recruits I talk to, family oriented, man, like they truly feel like this is a family and they're building in the right direction. It's going to be a tough decision for him, but I think at the end of the day, if it was up to Air Nolan himself, I think he's going to pick Ohio State. I think if he weighs out his options a little more with his family and friends, I think the best option would probably be Miami, in my opinion. But I think he's going to probably choose Ohio State. I think it's a little bit closer than what people think behind the scenes. But if I had to guess right now, because he got the big offer with Ohio State, I'm going to go with OSU. And then as far as next guy up, I'll probably go AJ Harrison. Again, going back to the quote, dream offer. This was his dream offer, University of Miami. And I think if you see Aaron Nolan commit, to Ohio State, I would expect AJ to commit to Miami shortly after. Or if you see AJ commit to Miami before that, then I think the writing was kind of on the wall and, staff got word that Air was going to Ohio State.
But we're taking – I thought the plan was to take two quarterbacks this cycle.
Absolutely. Still got to take two quarterbacks. I don't think they're in a rush to take that second quarterback right away. I think they're going to play their cards out, especially having an offensive coordinator. Yeah, Luke. I mean, you still got other big names in play too, right? Like who's to say that, Brian Hartline doesn't, not do so well at Ohio State as, first year OC. What happens with Aaron Nolan or some of these other guys. And I think someone like a Shannon Dawson as OC at Miami, I think once he can prove this first year that his offensive scheme can work at the University of Miami, it's going to benefit recruiting a lot more, not only at quarterback, but the wide receiver position. I mean, this is an offensive coordinator that, averages 33, 35 points every single year the last 11 seasons with not to say scrubs, but not the talent that you're getting with the University of Miami.
Scrubs.
And I mean, no, the reason why I don't say, and here's the reason why I don't say scrubs, right? This is a guy that last season, for Cane fans, this is the guy last season, the third leading scorer for the University of Houston. You know who that was? Bubba Baxter,
yeah.
Bubba Baxter, the worst kicker in University of Miami history, was the third leading scorer for Shannon Dawson's offense. That tells you how many more points he's putting on the board and where he's getting in position to get those points landed. So I think, when you have a mixture of guys that can put up points, he creates a lot of big play opportunities. He constantly has receivers over 1,000 yards every single year, which is something that's been missing in this offense for quite a while. I think this is a big year for not only Shannon Dawson, but for Tyler Van Dyke. And I think the two gotta hit it off right for this program to go to the next level this year.
So keeping in line with recruiting, right? If Nolan makes that pick, obviously nothing's done until they put their pen to paper. We saw that already, and even after pen to paper. And the wait and see approach with the offense, does that put the 5 stars from Chaminade more in play than we really think? Are they waiting and seeing too with Jeremiah and JoJo, waiting to see what this offense does? Or are they still in, or is Jeremiah completely locked? You see it on social media, a complete lock to OSU. And you know what I'm saying, as far as what's going on with Josiah.
Yeah, I think with the Chaminade boys, JoJo Trader and Jeremiah Smith, I think with those two guys in particular, I don't think anything has changed in the recruiting process for those two guys, regardless what Aaron Nolan does or anybody else does. I think this staff is just a lot different from the last, 3 to 5 staffs that we've had in this program. Relationships is very important when it comes to recruiting, and I think everyone on the staff has a very good understanding of how that's done the right way when it comes to recruiting. So I don't think we'll ever get, kind of bit at the end or showing up late to a party with recruiting. I think their philosophy on how they recruit these young men will never change. And I don't think, guys like that who they have constantly had at the highest on their board. I don't think, regardless if they're committed to another program or not, Mario Cristobal has shown many times where you could be committed to another program, but that's not going to stop him from trying to flip you, and he's done it before. And you're seeing him get on guys early too. I mean, there's plenty of guys that he's recruited and landed since they were in 8th grade, or that he's recruited at Oregon, and now that he's at Miami, he's using that relationship, aka Jaden Wayne, some guys like Jaden Jackson who were recruiting out of IMG. These are guys where he's building that relationship to where we're in a very good spot for landing these guys. And I don't think that's going to be something to miss, but I think Jeremiah Smith, when it comes down to it, it's going to be an Ohio State Miami battle. I would say 90% Ohio State, 10% Miami. Still wait till the season, see how it plays out. I think that has a lot to do with Jeremiah Smith. I think JoJo Trader, I think we've always been in a good spot for JoJo. I think it's between Miami and Florida State. I really think we land JoJo. And then also Zaquan Patterson as well. I think Miami's in a very good spot for him too. And the guy to look after is Chance Robinson. I think if we land a receiver in this class, he will be the first one.
Nice.
Okay.
I want to shift to the defensive side of the ball, man. The D-line.
David Stone.
The D-line. Yeah, the interior D-line more specifically. Because we have pass rushes all over the field. Like, pass rushing is looking good, but the interior D-line is lacking depth. You know what I mean? After Leonard Taylor, after JHH, you know what I mean? Moten, after Moten, kind of lacking there. Recruiting wise, transfer portal wise, what do you think we end up with?
First and foremost, Joe, I mean, if you look at this depth chart right now for the defensive line, the only 2 seniors on this roster that will leave after this year are your 2 transfer portal guys, and Branson Dean and Thomas Gore.
Yes.
So looking at from an inside out standpoint, if I'm a recruit, I'm looking at that as they don't have that it guy yet. So who's going to break out and be that guy? So that goes back to coaching and developing, right? Then you got a Hall of Fame coach in Jason Taylor, who is very relatable to these recruits. And you just mentioned 2 very big names, in my opinion, that you're going to have to watch out for coming into fall camp. And that's Leonard Taylor and JAH. And that's because they haven't been at practice this whole time. So you're seeing these younger guys being able to flash, a Jaden Wayne, a Reuben Bain. When these recruits, like a David Stone, like a Jaden Jackson, like some of these other guys, when they are at practice, these young guys that are as true freshmen that are coming in and playing the same roles that they're expected to play if they came in are making flashes right away. So in my opinion, as a recruit, I'm looking at that as, hey, man, I could come in here and be a very big vocal point for this defense very early, because these guys that were just in high school 6 to 8 months ago are doing it. And I think when you look at a guy like Leonard Taylor and Harrison Hunt, if they don't get it together this year, there will be guys like Reuben Bain, like Jaden Wayne, like Ahmad Moten, who are first-year, second-year guys who are going to make an impact. And if I'm an early recruit like a David Stone, I'm looking at that as, hey, I could get coached by a Hall of Famer and Jason Taylor, who I could relate to, and I could come in here and be a number 1 impact guy like a Reuben Bain or Jaden Wayne. Why not come to the U? So I think it's a win-win situation for the University of Miami. And I think when you got guys like, Steve Wilfong and some of these other guys who are praising Mario Cristobal very early in this recruiting process, we only got 1 guy landed in this recruiting class right now. And, the rival fans, they're trolling us, this and that. But the experts, people that actually know recruiting, are still praising us. That tells a lot of what Mario's doing behind the scenes. And guys like Steve Wilfong have already said, not only is the offensive line going to get right under Mario Cristobal, but what he did to the O-line last year, you're going to see that in high effect for the defensive line this year and next year to come. So that kind of throws a light bulb in my head that the David Stones of the world, the Jaden Jacksons of the world, we're in a very good spot to land a lot of these guys. The Kamarian Franklins, a lot of these guys are going to be coming back for official visits as well. David Stone already announcing that he's going to come back for an official visit. That'll be his 3rd time going to Miami. That's great news. And I mean, IMG to Miami pipeline is building very quickly from the last 2 years. So I like it.
Yes, sir. Hold on, Brad, man. Somebody just like entered our. I don't know how this thing happened, man. Like somebody,
we know what's happening right here. Invaded our space, man. Hey, look,
real quick, man. I mean,
hey Joe, you want to do the introduction? You know what I'm saying? How you want to do this, man? This is breaking news right here.
I can't even see who it is. Like something just popped up. Somebody just popped on, man. I can't see who it is, man.
Should we add it to the timeline?
I mean, who?
Oh shit!
What's up, fellas?
What up?
The hell is going on?
What's up, baby?
Man? What is going on?
Hey, miss.
Hey, man. I'm a little tired, but we good. You got my boy Brad on, so I was just sitting here and enjoying Brad talk about all these prospects we get. Yeah, we got some monsters on the D line coming, man.
Yes, sir. Chalupa, man. It's good to see you. It's good to finally see you, man. You always showing love on the timeline, man. So I respect you.
Hey, you're one of my favorites, bro. For real, you really are. But all of y'all are, man. It's kind of I'm honored just to be here right now.
No doubt, we honored to have you, man. I mean, you bust.
You got to pinch me real quick.
Yeah.
Like,
man, listen,
Brad. I was like,
you busting in on the show. I mean, you know what I mean. You just came on. What do we? What's the
I
deal?
just kicked the door in real quick. I just kicked the door in real quick. It was open. Y'all left it unlocked. I just kicked it
right.
I see.
Yeah, we locked. Hey man, shout out to all the things popping up behind you, man. That's what's up right there, man. I like that. What you got back there?
Everything, bro. Harry Potter, Naruto. You got Spider-Man. You got I got it. We gonna talk about that Spider-Man thing.
Listen, man, don't even worry.
We're gonna talk about that.
We're
gonna talk about that. That hurt my feelings. We're gonna talk about that.
Don't worry about that.
That was my hat moment. Hey Ben, that was my hat moment. He basically turned the hat back on me when he said Spidey's not top 10. I was like, oh no.
No, son, like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
The slow hat turn is the greatest.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, man.
He wearing it, son. We started the show.
Ben, I'm probably.
We started the show. He was like this. He was like this, and I was like, "That's so disrespectful, Joe." I'm saying, like, I know. All right, look, before we get back into this, I'm gonna
wear mine to the front so you don't see it. I'm gonna keep mine to the front so you don't see the exclusiveness on the back. I got you.
Look, man, I'm very sensitive about where I got a big ass head, bro. It's very hard to find hats.
Hey, the dreads don't really allow for any hats, man. So I feel your pain.
Yeah,
I'm finna get
all
that.
right, Brett. Before we get back into the recruiting, man, we got a big announcement, man. Joe, go ahead. I like to toss it to you, man. Let them know, man. Let them know what's popping with the. You know what I'm saying? Let them know what's popping.
What's the top like? Okay, so
let them know.
Mr. Corey. Can we use your real name? I don't want.
All right, so I addressed this earlier. I'm fine with being called Corey. My actual name is Corey. Chalupa Batman is a joke from the league. So because I was always in the live chat with Dono started calling me Chalupa. It makes me and my wife laugh every time somebody calls me that. So if you're comfortable calling me CB or Chalupa, that's fine. Corey is the name. Chalupa, CB. If you want to call me like Your Highness, whatever works for you, works for me.
Shout out to the league, man. Shout out to the league. Such a good show.
But now everyone thinks my name is Chalupa, so I don't mind though.
CB. I like CB better, man. I'm gonna do CB. You know, we do.
Shout out to his big ass jersey though.
Yeah, man. Look at I bought this in the baggy jersey era. You know what I mean?
Quick plug, right? And this nobody asked me to do this. I'm just doing this. Canesware got a Sean Taylor jersey right now that I bought. That thing fresh. If you listening to this right now, go to Canesware. They not gonna have that thing for much longer once people realize it's up there. They got a Sean Taylor jersey that's beautiful, and they got a Dime Life Sean Taylor shirt that's got his name and number on the back of it.
I may need to go get one my size. You know what I mean? And
Brett
not one that looks like swimming.
Brett, Jeff, and the team, man, they'll always do you right at Canesware, man.
And you're gonna get your stuff super fast.
Their delivery and their customer appreciation, man, is
it don't make sense. Bro, I'm in Houston. I ordered an Omer jersey Saturday. I was in the middle of the fever. Game had me. I was like, I'm another jersey. I'm buying it. So I bought the Omer. That thing showed up Wednesday. I ain't ordered no expedite. I shot him a tweet. I was like, I hope it get here. He was like, oh, everybody's stuff getting there on time. I was like, bro, I'm in Texas. Wednesday, that thing was at the doorstep. I don't know how they do it. It's the Canesware the truth, man. They gonna get you your merch.
Word on the street, they gave Nigel Pack his second pair of shoes. I'm just saying.
Hey, I promise I almost threw my shoes down, but they was Puma. See, they was Puma. And I was like, I don't want to violate, the Adidas Miami situation. Yeah. I was way up there too. Them things wasn't making it.
Definitely. All right. So listen, man.
Let them know, man. Let them know, Joe.
CB came on. He just busted into our joint. I guess he feels like he has the right to do that since he's joining the team.
Yeah.
He's joining the You Heard team now.
Yeah, baby.
So introducing Chalupa Batman, aka Corey, or Corey, aka Chalupa Batman. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And you heard social media director. Let's give it up.
Let's go.
I like it. Great move.
Hey,
man.
I am beyond honored, man.
Yeah, man. We growing. Man.
I am beyond honored and privileged. When Ben sent me the text, I was like, well, I came home. He was like, talk about it with the wifey. So I'm reading the text to her. She was like, you asking me about something you either said yes to or you look like it's yes. I was like, well, it's yes. I just want to make sure it's yes before I tell Ben it's yes. I got the text ready. Can I hit send on that thing? And she was like, look at your face. She was like, it's yes. But I'm honored, man. There is nothing I love more than Miami, man. I tell people that all the time, man. I became a Canes fan when I was like 5 or 6. My dad's a Notre Dame fan. So he wanted me to be a Notre Dame fan, like heavy. So he would like play old Notre Dame stuff and everything. Kind of boring. But then they played the Canes. They were playing the Canes, and I was like, Dad, who's that? Like the colors were they were wearing white with the orange pants. I'll never forget with the orange pants, and they just popped to me. I was like, yeah, those colors, they look really cool. He was like, no, we don't like them. And I was like, why? He was like, because they the bad boys. They be dancing. They talk a lot of nonsense. Yeah. I'm from New York. That sounds like every hooper I've ever met in my life. Perfect. I was like, I think I like them. And then he wanted me to be a Cowboys fan. So he was like, here's what we'll do. Michael Irvin went to the U. So if you like them, that you have to be a Cowboys fan. And I was like, whatever. Who's them?
Yeah.
So he bought me like a knockoff Michael Irvin jersey when I was a kid. I had a 47. And I was a Miami fan, didn't really know how good they were. I just liked the swag. Yeah. And it drew me to them. And then when I was like 9, he was like, your team's really good. And I was like, the bad boys, they look good. He was like, no, like they're good. And then he showed me Ken Dorsey. And once he showed me Ken Dorsey, bro, I used to tell people my name was Corey Dorsey. I'm not even lying to you. I'm not. My first start ever at quarterback in 8th grade, I stole my brother's long sleeve baggy shirt because I wanted to have the long sleeve baggy like Dorsey, but it said like Perry Ellis or something down the side. So I had to flip that thing inside out.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I flipped that thing inside out. I couldn't get 11 because it was ripped, and I always felt like 11 is sacred. I don't even give people 11 on NCAA. That's Dorsey's number. Yeah. So I'll put on 12, which is why I got so much love from Malik Rozier and Corey Harris, because to me 12 is my number. So I've been loving Miami since before I really understood what they did. I just loved the swag when I was a kid, and it just turns out that they were good.
That's facts.
Like, they look cool, and when you 6 and 7, I don't know what's going on that TV, but the orange look dope.
No doubt.
And then you telling me they dance and they got swagger. I'm like, bro, Notre Dame kind of boring, bro. Like he wearing a suit. Your coach got a tie on. I don't want to see that.
That's facts, man.
So
we were just talking to Brad about that earlier, man. The things that connect the Miami fans
is
crazy special. You know what I mean? Like you being from Houston, I'm from New York. The first time I saw Miami was against
Florida. What part of New York are you from?
I'm from Queens.
I was born in Jamaica Hospital in Queens.
That's crazy.
It's called Queens Hospital now, but I was born in Jamaica Hospital.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that.
But yeah, man, and that's what it is, man.
That's
People from
crazy,
all
too.
around the world, like you can go anywhere and somebody gonna
Yeah.
throw it to you, man. Like it's crazy. So that's the special
I'm not even
part.
making this up. The night we beat Houston, I went to the gas station right after the game. I swear to God, I had my jersey on. Somebody drove past me when he rolled his window down. He's out from the 305, baby. I was like, I'm from here, but what's up? And he was like, we everywhere. And I was like, for real, we really like that's crazy.
Everywhere, son.
It's
Yeah, man.
Everywhere you go, it's the swagger, bro. It's the swagger.
Yeah, it's just different.
I said it the other day.
Just...
swagger was not a thing until the U had swagger. Go back and watch college football, bro. Wasn't no swagger before we had it.
No doubt.
Nah.
No doubt.
So
they were all Notre Dames. That's what they were all Notre Dames. Boring to me. All right, Brad, let's get you back in here, man. Listen, so with recruiting, we asked this to roster too. Want your take on it? Who are your top 5? Who's on your top 5 guys that must haves and must gets?
No bias. Like I gotta take my bias out of this. This is what's best for the program. All right.
Yeah.
Because you start watching some of these dudes and you become fans, and sometimes you gotta separate the bias. Elijah Rushing.
Let Brad handle this chop. Yeah.
Yeah. What up? Ooh, I definitely want to hear this.
So are we being realistic, or are we being from a realistic standpoint, or just like must have, must get?
I would say realistic.
Yeah, realistic. We don't want to tell lies yet. No lies.
Okay. All right. So number 1 on the board's got to be David Stone. I think based off the relationship that we have continued to build with someone like David Stone, where the trenches is trying to go in the next few years, and not having that number 1 guy proven yet on the defensive line, you got to elevate that D line just like you've been doing to the O line as far as the recruiting aspect. And David Stone is the perfect guy to cement that around. So I'm gonna go with him number 1 as David Stone. Number 2, that's a good one. Number 2, I'm gonna.
Did we lose him?
The excitement is building for number 2 now.
I know the anticipation.
Oh, my bad.
It seems to always happen, man.
Joe, all right, my bad. You there?
Yeah, we good.
Okay,
yeah, we're good.
So number 2 has got to be JoJo Trader. I think you got to have that number 1 type of receiver in this class. Although Jeremiah Smith fits the bill, I'm trying to be a little more realistic, and I think JoJo Trader is definitely more of that guy for us. So I'll go with him number 2. Number 3, I'm gonna go with it's a good one, man. Trying to think real quick.
That's the hard-hitting questions here on You Heard.
I'm gonna go number 3, offensive lineman Brandon Baker. I think if Miami and Mario and Alex Mirabal want to continue the trend of landing big fish, especially in their position group, I think Brandon Baker is the guy to land at number 3. At number 4, I'm going to keep number 4 and 5 both in the trenches as well, because I think at the end of the day, we'll get the skill position guys wherever they may land or get out at. But I think more of the skill position guys are guys that are going to kind of go to the distance. And I think these trench guys, you can kind of lock them up early and make them anchors for this recruiting class. So number 4, I'm going to go with Jaden Jackson out of IMG as well. I think he's a young man who is very underrated. He obviously has family ties to Coach Salvea already as well. That Samoan background of what we already got, with Kiki and Francis. And I think Kiki and Francis, both of them are going to be major impact for this football team this year. You obviously got Sagapolo as well. And I think just the family vibe that we're giving off for him in particular with this coaching staff sets it apart from any other program that he's going to visit. So I would say for him, number 4. And number 5, I'm going to go with an underrated guy, man. I think Eddie Pierre-Louis. The offensive lineman, Haitian descent. I think this is a young man who is very gritty, very nasty. I think he has a lot more left on the table as far as his ceiling. And I think he's very diverse and he's very athletic when you watch his tape, whether that's on the track field or whether that's on the football field. Man, he does a lot and brings a lot to the table, and he's got very quick feet. And if I'm Alex Mirabal, knowing how he looks at offensive linemen, this is a guy that can play all 5 positions. And he, how he likes these offensive linemen who could, be very diverse and compatible and be able to move all across the offensive line. And this is a young man that just won the offensive line rivals MVP the last couple weekends. So I would say him at number 5. And just to throw another name out there, Manasseh Atate. I was able to speak to him a couple days ago, and he has these exact same recruiting story as Collins Achumpong, who just landed flipping from Michigan. I mean, I'm talking the exact same. He moved out of his country to the United States less than 2 years ago. He's only played football for a year and a half. His first sport growing up was soccer. Then he led into basketball and, then went into football, which is exactly what Collins did as well. And, crazy enough, his best friend out of everybody, regardless of what campus he's going to, what recruiting process he's going through, his best friend is Collins. And he's very relatable with him. He talks to him on a daily basis. And he absolutely loves Coach Ed Pata, Alex Mirabal, Mario Cristobal, and the staff. And this is also offensive lineman, very underrated. He would be a great, 3 or 4, guy that you're bringing in that offensive line recruiting class. So I would look out for him as well.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Yeah, he's got super long arms too. Like his arms are insanely long.
Yeah, he's got a.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on the wingspan, but you can quote me on this. So he's currently 6'6", 6.5". He is the shortest person in his family. His dad is 7'1.5".
He's not done growing.
He's not done growing. No, that kid's got a growth spurt coming.
He's grown 4.5, 5 inches within a year. So he's got a lot more growing to do. He said he's just not filling out. He knows and this is the great thing about talking to a young man like him. He knows whatever program he goes to, his first year he's not playing. It's all about learning the process on and off the football field. Getting his body right, nutrition right. And just, learning the game of football. And he's someone that doesn't, put that pressure on him, but at the same light, he wants to have competition. And that's what you need in this football team.
He's powerful too. Like you can see sometimes when you watch him that where he lacks in technique, he makes up for in like athleticism and raw power. Just raw power. And a lot of long arm guys, like they don't know what they're doing with their long arms. And I don't know if it's the coaching he's gotten, but maybe because he's had a bigger learning curve, maybe one of the first things they said is use those arms, kid, because he uses them. And he's impressive. He really is. Mario seems to be recruiting a lot of really athletic, versatile offensive linemen, and they're big. They're not little guys that can move. These are big kids that can move. I'm talking about you see them pull, and you're like, oh, holy cow, in space. And nasty when they pull too. I'm talking guys that look like they enjoy being in the trenches.
Nice.
Yeah, wait till you see Francis Maigoa pulling on that side every once in a while. Come this football season.
He'd be perfect to block the right side for a left-handed quarterback. I'm just
if that happens.
I'm just saying.
We talked about that earlier. It's not.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier.
But
I
don't think so.
We have time. We have time, though. Committing now.
We got plenty of time.
Plenty of time. Yeah.
I have a question for you about that, Brad, if you don't mind.
Go ahead, bro.
Now let's say in the unlikely event that Air picks the school that shall not be named. Do you think that turns up the heat on like Van Buren or Moga? Does Moga look at that and go, "Oh, I'm the guy now. Like, I'm no longer competing for, am I their guy? I'm their guy." Because apparently he already is telling a tight end to come visit us. It looks like maybe this may give Moga the Iggy to go, well, now the 23 recruiting class is mine. Like now it'll start with me. I know we're not gonna stop recruiting Air Nolan, but does the focus now shift to a guy like Van Buren, Judd Anderson, or Moga, because you do need that linchpin for guys to kind of draw to?
Yeah, I think ultimately, I mean, especially when it come through like the recruiting ways of what Shannon Dawson and what Mario is trying to do. I think a lot of those names that you mentioned are in play, obviously, but at the end of the day, any of those names, they want to see it on the field first. So I don't think Miami's necessarily in a position where they could kind of necessarily turn up the heat to get one of those guys that you named to commit right away. I think it's going to just come. It's going to have to come by seeing it on the football field on TV and making these kids realize that this offense could be beneficial not only for the quarterback but for making big plays. And you're bringing in an offensive coordinator where that's his philosophy. He wants to make big plays all the time, and that's what quarterbacks these days want. And I think all those guys, Mario and Shannon, are going to continue to recruit them, just like they're going to continue to recruit Air if he goes elsewhere. But at the end of the day, I think Miami needs 2 quarterbacks in this class regardless. I think you lock up a young man like AJ in this class just to have him as that number 2 quarterback, and you let it ride out and just play it on the football field and see where it goes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Why is AJ so under the radar, man? I don't understand that.
That's a really good question. I'm not 100% sure on it. I mean,
it's kind of puzzling a little bit.
I think there's always those 1 or 2 guys that are always under the radar where you're kind of figuring out why. But he definitely loves the
star system is bogus anyway. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, there's that too.
The system is super bogus.
I'll tell you what, Bobby Washington, if they had to re-rate the star system, he would be almost a 5-star based off everything I've been hearing.
That's my guy. That's my guy.
That guy is relentless. He is all over the football field. He's a true freshman, already playing with the ones a lot of times. And not only playing with the ones, but he's getting moved around from defensive end to outside linebacker, depending on the package that we're running. So it's great to see him in different positions.
Yeah. Let Brad, you want to get into? I'm sorry, not Brad. Ben, you want to get into Canesware?
Yeah, man. Let's get into this ad and you know what I'm saying, wrap it on up here in a second.
Welcome to Canesware. Family owned and operated since 2010, Canesware has all latest merchandise for the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Inter Miami Soccer, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of I-595, or online at Canesware.com. Canesware, the spot Miami fans shop.
Just want to point out something. I didn't see the hat in the ad, so I don't know if I still have it in stock. All right. I just want to.
I'm shooting the DM. That. I'm not even going to the website.
Don't worry about it, man. Don't even worry about it. There's no reason to even worry about it.
Hey, listen, man.
I'm going to pull it slowly up, too, when I get it. I'm going to just.
Oh, that's so disrespectful. That's so disrespectful. Hey, man, look, you already know what it is, man. Canesware's the family, man. They've been rocking with us since we were at 500 subscribers. Okay, you didn't. I just noticed what Joe did. Look how disrespectful that is. Hey, Brad, can you see him? If you can see him, that's what disrespect looks like without any words. That's what that is. Look, just look.
And you gotta have that look on, like
you look like he's about to shoot.
Yeah, I know.
What are you doing?
You got that LeBron Game 6 look. You got that LeBron Game 6. Hey, man, Canesware, hit them up for everything you want, Canes. You already see what it is, man. You see the hat that I can't wear. You know what I'm saying? The shirt, the hat, they love, man. We're doing a spring game meet and greet. April 14th from 12 to 2. Hey, listen, man, we're going to drop 2 because we realize we have too many people showing up. So if we waited every episode, the names might not drop. You know what I'm saying? Brad, yeah, man. You already know the graphic. Look, man, we got Canesware, obviously is the family, so we're going to be there. Donald's locked in. Joe, let them know one more, and I'll give them the other name of one of the Canesverse people, you know what I'm saying, that's going to be in the building. Look how
if we doing it, we doing it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we got El Capitan, El Jefe. We got El Jefe, Miami Flow coming through.
Yeah.
Miami Flow stopping through in the building.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
Hey man, and if you have El Jefe, man, El Padrino, you gotta have a Don, man. You gotta have Mr. 7 hours a week content, man. You gotta have Coach Hayes in the building, man. He's coming through.
Gotta
have him. Listen, man.
I got the Avengers of the Miami Hurricanes coming through.
Yeah, man. Listen, when episode 1, I said we're not here to take part, we're here to take over. That was never a competition state. That was because I'm trying to bring this thing together. Just how I hit up Joe on that random ass post that he had, November 15th. 4 days later, we started a podcast. This is it, man. This is what we're doing. We're trying to bring this shit together. For too long, we've been divided. So we can have our opinions, we can have our discussions, but we're trying to make this thing happen. We're going to do a live podcast. So whether you're driving down or flying, everybody in the airplane got Wi-Fi now. We're going to be talking, man. We're going to give you the live content, get you hyped up for the spring game. The spring game's a practice, all that, but it's going to be fam love. So we're trying to start that energy early, man.
Yes.
So, hey, look, man, you know what? I'm going to drop the keyword for today's show. It's Chalupa. You know what I'm saying?
Hey!
Make sure in the comments, it's Chalupa, man. Let them know.
Chalupa.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, you can no longer win. You know what I'm saying? Here's the other side of it.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you that, CD.
Now, when I show up with the burner account, just don't say nothing.
But I wanted to ask you
when it's Taco Superman, just let it fly.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you what's the balance with that? Like, on one hand, you don't get that free money no more. You know what I mean? You can't order what you want to order for $30 off, $40 off. On the other hand, you rocking with us now. You know what I mean?
That's a perfect trade-off.
Okay. That's
a perfect trade-off.
Because I might have took the money. You know what I mean? I might have kept getting that money. You know what I mean?
You already got the hat. What you want?
Hey.
Oh, so disrespectful.
Hey,
everybody got a price, huh?
The season.
Everybody got a price.
Everybody got a price.
Everybody can be bought. Everybody can be bought.
Hey,
Make
we
sure
don't
y'all
sell
put
out.
that in the comments. Every single episode, you can win a gift card. It is literally how I bought this shirt, that Sean Taylor jersey, all that. It's free money. It is Chalupa 3 syllables. It's 3 syllables.
Yep.
That's it.
Chalupa,
down in the comments.
Keyword.
Come on, man. It's free money. And Canesware got the best merch. And you gonna get it quickly.
All right, we're not gonna
let's get you
unforgettable Cane today, man.
Nah, man, no.
We'll
Get to it Sunday.
We'll get to it Sunday. We'll get it Sunday.
Yeah. Hey, Brad, before we get you up out of here, man, we got. I was reading a tweet or something. Totally forgot that we still have 2 more offensive linemen coming in after they graduate. In what's the dude? The big Samoan cat, big New Zealand cat.
Frankie Tenelau and Tommy Kinslow.
Tommy Kinslow.
Yep.
What do you think about those guys coming?
I think with those two guys in particular. I think someone in Tommy Kinsler, it's going to take him at least a year to get right in the nutrition aspect and the what it takes to be a Division I college athlete on and off the football field as far as putting in that work. I think he'll be at least a year or 2 before he gets settled in. I think someone in Frankie Tenelau has a very high upside. I think he's going to be one of those project players for Alex Mirabal and Mario Cristobal. And I think he's going to exceed expectations very quickly just because of his size, his range, and just the willingness to want to put in the work and always learn. I think he's going to be a very good young man for this locker room too, man. He's very likable. And, just as far as any guy that's coming in, into fall, I think the guy to watch is first and foremost Mark Fletcher. I think this is a young man that could come into this offense and be a powerhouse running back for this football team this year as a true freshman. I think when you look at the running back room, you only got 2 running backs currently on scholarship, and Henry Parrish and Don Chaney. And these are guys, that aren't necessarily, very reliable. As far as Don Chaney, who's having the best spring that you could possibly ever have as a Miami Hurricane. I think Don Chaney's had it. He is constantly running over defensive players. He's not a guy that's going to just tiptoe out of bounds. He's going to make sure you get felt every single play. and he's breaking off big runs as well. And I think if he could somehow play a full season, that's going to help. But, going just based off, what he's done so far in a Hurricane uniform, you can't really rely on him. And I think someone like Mark Fletcher can be an important piece for this offense.
No, Don. No Don slander over here, okay? You know what I mean? Nah, you speaking facts though, Brad. You speaking facts though. I get what you're saying. I definitely get what you're saying, and hopefully he can stay healthy, man. And I think he has a chip. I think he has something to prove. Like this is money. This is money season. He could have a good year and leave. You know what I mean? He could
Absolutely. As a running back, I mean, your longevity is you have a small window, especially when it comes to the NFL. And someone like him who's already been banged up ever since high school, and constantly has been injured, all he needs is one great year, in my opinion. And then, he just needs to make that money for him and his family and go on to the next one. But I think, this, like you said, this is his money year. He's never played more than 6 games, I believe. He's never had more than 10 carries in a football game. So that's those are big stats when you only have a guy in Henry Parrish right now. So that kind of puts all eyes on Mark Fletcher, in my opinion, to where he can carry a lot of carries for us.
Got you. All right, man.
That's crazy.
Good, man. Good, man. We
good money.
Getting on, Brad, man. We definitely appreciate
it.
Amen.
Amen. I always tell everybody, man, once you come on the show, you family. You know what I'm saying? Brad, I'm saying with Joe, you were already family. You know what I'm saying? Driving him around, making sure he bought that hat. You're probably the reason he has that hat, Brad. Don't let that go, though.
This is what happened. He bought the hat.
You know what I'm saying?
He took me to get the hat.
Yeah. Yeah, man, exactly. All right, guys, we got nothing else, man. Hope y'all enjoyed the information, man. We got some questions to handle, but we're going to, you know what I'm saying? We'll handle those now. You want to leave them until Sunday? How you want to do this?
Now we can get those in real quick, man. Brad, man, listen, we appreciate you, brother. Listen, we gonna see you. We gonna see you in a few days. All right.
Yes, sir, fellas, man. Good chopping it up with y'all. Y'all stay blessed, and y'all keep doing y'all thing, man. Y'all are great for the Canes community.
Thank you, man. We appreciate
you, too, man. Thank you for everything you do, Brett. Yeah, man. We'll chop it up at a spring game, man. We'll see you at the tailgate.
Absolutely, man. And Corey, man, keep doing your stuff on Twitter as well, man. You're showing great positivity and love, man. People love it.
Thank you, bro. I really appreciate it, man.
Facts.
That's my dog, man. Brad the man.
No doubt.
Brad the man, yo.
Questions.
All right, man. Let's get into these questions.
Let's see what we
got 5, man.
Oh,
nice. All right. This is a good one. How's Citizens' recovery coming along, and any idea when he'll be available? Gotta imagine we don't see him until fall practice at this point. Shout out to Wu-Tang Clan. First of all, great name. Great pun.
Yeah, that's a fire name.
Incredible name.
That's fire. Yeah.
I just finished watching the Wu-Tang series right now, man. I just finished watching.
I saw you on Twitter going crazy today.
Man, I was having a moment watching that joint, man.
Joe live tweet shows. I love it. Hey, man, first of all, I don't think about names like that. All right, so Citizen. I don't think we see him till late in the season, man. If I'm being honest, I don't like rushing running backs back ever. I think Mark Fletcher is going to get the burn because of that. But I want Don Chaney to shine, man. I don't want us to be by like game 7 or 8, and we were like, oh man, when's Citizen coming? Like hoping that he's the savior. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that. So that's my take on that. What you got, Joe?
Yeah, with the severity of his injuries, I think definitely this can be just a comeback season, man. Get right physically, mentally. Take the year, man. I think we're gonna be good depth-wise. You know what I mean? I think Chaney, Parrish. Once Fletch comes through, Chris Johnson comes through, we may add another piece via the portal. I think we're going to be good depth-wise, man. So I think he can just chill and get right. And if he comes back, and if everybody gets him right and he comes back halfway through the year, the end of the year, we get to see him, that'd be perfect for me. You know what I mean?
Facts. What about you, Corey? What you got?
I agree with Joe. I don't want to rush him. I know he's probably antsy because there was a lot of buzz when he came out. So, you start to see the buzz Fletcher gets or the buzz that, Chris Johnson gets when he signs, and you know what you can do. So, of course, you want to get on the field right away. But we do got to understand this is a young man here. Like Joe said, let's give him the year to work his way back into his zone of genius. Let's not put him out there when he's 60%. We got Parrish. Hopefully Chaney stays healthy. Fletcher should be able to carry some of the load, and we got a lot of different gadget guys we can use. You can put Richard in the backfield a little bit if you need to. Sure. You pop Ray back there for screens if you need to. You can do little things. I'm a little worried maybe Chris Johnson may be a later in the season guy too, depending on his size when he comes in, because he's not coming into the fall. Yeah. But I feel like we have enough talent to where we don't have to rush having Citizen on the field. I'd much rather have 100% Citizen for the last 3 games, and then he can show this is what we're getting next year. Sure. I'd much rather have that, because then next year, then we got a 1-2 punch with him and Fletcher, and good luck. You don't want to damage him long term, and then next year we're sitting here going, man, if we didn't play the game, I bet you he'd be back by now. So let's let him get to 110. Let's let him get to 100 and then wait a game 2. All right. Get him in there slowly. Once he starts to really feel like himself again, get him more reps in practice, but I don't feel the need to rush him. Facts. Mario said Parrish has taken another step this year, so I think he's going to shoulder a little bit more of the load. I think they're going to use him as a bit more in the backfield. And a couple of the interviews, Mario, his hand there now, where he's running better routes now. So I think maybe he's going to be a little bit of a weapon out the backfield. So we got some versatility. Why rush him back?
No doubt.
All right.
No doubt. Yes, sir.
All right, next one.
Same with James Williams. No need to rush guys back like that.
Yep.
Not at all. Not at all. What is the number one thing we're looking at spring game? Joe, since we're going to be there, what is – shout out to Brick by Brick, man, a.k.a. 505 Kanye.
Shout out, brother.
Yeah, man. He's actually our winner for –
Oh, yeah.
Hey. What do you – yeah,
one of our winners, man. Congrats, brother.
Yeah, with the graphical drop. What are you guys looking for?
I ain't looking for nothing, man. You know what I mean?
I don't like practice, bro.
For nothing, man.
Practice.
I don't like practice, bro.
I'm trying to, you know what I mean? I'm trying to see my guys. I'm trying to see the team. You know what I mean? Keep it a buck. I am anxious to see the offensive scheme. I know it's gonna be vanilla, but I am, I can tell. We can look at the concepts, look at the route concepts, look at how he's using people. We'll be able to see that. I do want to see how the O-line is looking. Yeah, so I want to see TVD throw the ball. I want to see what it looks like. So I just want to see the young guys, man. I want to see Ray. I want to see what all the hype is. I need to see it. I need to see that. What the hype
I need to see it. Yeah.
I mean, because I don't buy nothing I see on the internet
until you see
so
it.
I need to see it. Yes.
Yeah. I know. I'm a French hand model out here. Yeah, man, same for me. You know what I'm saying? I am not. I want to see. I want to see the team. I want to see. Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? You remember that Geico commercial? You know what I'm saying? Out here, man. Come on, that's a deep cut. Hey, listen. Such a stupid reference. Yeah, but I want to see the. I want to see a little bit of the trenches. Yeah. See how that O line. See how the young guys look. I want to see how TVD. I want to see Jakari. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to see that athleticism. I want to see if hopefully, you know what I'm saying, depending where we're sitting at, I want to see if that release point is the same. I want to see how, you know what I'm saying, how he adjusts when the bullets are a little bit more live, but still blank, because, you know what I'm saying, he's going to be a no tackle player. But yeah, I mean, I'm with you on that one, Joe. What about you, Chalupa? What you got?
I'd say personnel groupings. Because, like Joe said, they're not gonna, they're not gonna give a full playbook here. We're not gonna see Shannon Dawson's full system. We're not gonna see Guidry's full complement of the different things he's gonna do. But we'll be able to see personnel groupings.
Son, I can't get it. I can't get it.
That jersey eating him alive.
It's all over the place.
I'm trying to be serious when we have Brad on this level. Just
like somebody's trying to rob me, son.
So it looked like remember you were at the supermarket and your mom grabbed you by your shirt, your collar was never the same.
It's all over the place,
I tried so hard not to laugh, but
I know I appreciate you, but this dude's swimming.
That's why this is hung up in the closet. Yeah. This does not.
I'm gonna wrap this one up with personnel groupings. I want to see personnel groupings. Like Joe said, you'll learn. So he gonna use 2 tight ends in the slot here? Is he gonna move running backs around a little bit? We won't get to see the full complement of what he's gonna do, but we'll be able to kind of look at personnel groupings and go, "Oh, that's gonna be nasty if you do that." Or so that's how we're using X this year. It'd be cool to see how's he gonna move guys around. We don't have a lot of number 1 receiver, the guy 6'5", 250. He's getting 13 balls a game regardless. So how is he going to use these tight ends? How is he going to move Colby around? Is he I would love that's what I want to see. I want to see the personnel groupings. How is he trying to fit some of these guys in to create some mismatches?
No doubt.
Okay. I'm with you on that one. Joe, you're killing me with this jersey, bro. Yeah. I gotta say it. I appreciate the content you made just off this. I appreciate the shit out of it.
I didn't wear the other. I got an orange 81. You know who that is?
Okay. Yeah, you can't wear that one on the show.
Yeah, I can't wear that. But you want to talk about huge? That joint is humongous.
Now because you did the hat thing to him. I gotta wear my Sean T next time I'm on the. I gotta wear the Sean Taylor. Yeah. They have to see one that fits right. I need them to know. That
it's possible.
It's possible.
Let them know it's possible. You know what I'm saying? Anything is possible out here. All right, next one, man. What do y'all think our record is for the upcoming season gonna be? Shout out to Kubice, man. You know what I'm saying? Always shows love. I got no idea. I have no idea. I don't know what this defense is going to look like.
12-0, son. 12-0.
Everybody undefeated in spring, baby.
ACC champions and national champions. Yeah.
I feel like we need to see more first. We got to see more first.
We're not doing predictions.
We got to see more.
No, we can't do that for you, man. You notice how all of us said offense? Because we got no clue about the defense.
Yeah,
that front seven or front
look like.
Yeah, we don't have the size of the tackle that we want to have. Joe swimming in his jersey, and you know what I'm saying. We don't know what's happening. You know what I mean? We don't know what. All right,
we looking for a D tackle to fit that jersey. That's what we.
Yeah, man, exactly right. Because right now, our D tackles fit that jersey the way Joe's fitting in that jersey. They out here being 240, 250. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, we need a big guy. Right, I like the quick guys up front, but we need a big guy.
Yeah, we don't have one. We don't have. Man, like I haven't heard nothing about Moten, and he's a big guy. So it must be a struggle. Like
Mario said he was improving and moving up the depth chart, but he did say he got nicked up a little bit.
Hurt. Yeah,
he got nicked up a little bit. But when he mentioned
he's that big body.
He did put the caveat on there to say, like, I was really enjoying Moten. He's been moving up the depth chart and he's been climbing up and impressing, but he got nicked up a little bit. So I think that's somebody else to look out for in the spring game. Let's see if we can get some of these big guys to start stepping up a little bit.
Yeah. I like this question a lot. Who will be the first 2 freshmen to start on offense and defense? What you got, Chalupa?
So we're not saying somebody that plays both ways, right? Because that ain't
No. That ain't happening.
Devin Hester is not
one on offense, one on defense.
Yeah.
On offense, Malingo is the easy one, right? So I won't say Francis because he's getting the reps right now at right tackle. So I won't say Malingoa. I'll say Fletcher. He won't. I don't know if he'll get any starts, but I'd say look out for Fletcher, man. There may be some games where we need his skill set a little bit more than we need Robert Parrish. There may be some games when, hey, we need to punch them in the mouth early, and
Mm-hmm.
They don't have tape on Fletcher yet. So he could be that guy that you surprise him with one game and you give him the start, give him 3 or 4 carries early, because people think he doesn't have breakaway speed. He does. He can run over you and around you. So while people are worrying about Chaney and Parrish, maybe Fletcher impresses and gets a start here and there. Other than that, it's Mount-Goa on offense. I think he'll be the opening day starter. On defense, Bobby Washington. I would have said Caleb, just because our secondary looks like if you step up, there may be a spot there for you. Like, I feel like Caleb would be really nice at the start. He's got that versatility where he can play in the box. You worried, can he play the deep third as well? But I'm thinking it's either Bobby or Caleb. And I'll say Bobby because of his versatility. You can use him as a pass rusher. And right now, linebacker can be had a little bit. No disrespect to anybody, but, the boys said they came here to compete in this class, and they came here to compete. So, you're hearing nothing but great things about Bobby. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see Bobby on the field early and often.
What you got, Joe?
Out on defense, man, I'm going to say Ruben Hurricane Bain. You know what I mean? I think he grabs a spot. And we know, starting and snaps is two different. Starting doesn't mean anything, man. It's about who gets those snaps. So, Ruben Bain on offense. I'm going to go receiver Robbie, man.
That boy bad.
Okay.
I think he's going to get some significant starts, man. So
I'm gonna go Ray because I think mine goes as a starter. Like I think they're gonna treat him almost like a sophomore by the time the season comes around. So I go Ray. I think he gets the start and a good amount of the snaps with X. I think that's gonna be a battle to push them to be better. I love that competition.
Me too.
And on defense, I'm with Joe. I think it's gonna be Hurricane. I think I think his ceiling is so much higher that they're gonna let him go. And I think he shaves his head by the end of the season because
I hope. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? The time has come, my brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, we try to keep a positive mindset here, but it's that time because
let that thing go. Let it go.
Yeah, let it go, bro. Don't
come on over, man. I'm through. I'm through, baby.
Sometimes you just gotta take the top off the Maybach. Take the top off the Maybach,
baby.
Yeah, man.
You ride the convertible, baby.
It could be clean.
Yeah,
son.
it's Miami, man. The sun is beaming. You can
let
it go, brother.
That. The girls like to palm that too, man. So come on over.
You know what I'm saying? Let them know, son. You know what I'm saying? It's just I don't even know. This show's got so derailed. His jersey has just destroyed.
His jersey just threw everything off.
I'm taking this off. Hot. Who y'all think is?
All right, man. Last one, man. Last one. On the D, who you think is gonna break out? JHH, but his personal fave. Shout out to Panhandle K, man. He's one of the OGs, man. He's been rocking with us since before we were even advertising, man. Shout out to Panhandle and all good people, man. So you think Amon Moten got hurt? We talked about it, but HH can be the passer and the right system, and Moten has the size needed. So who y'all think on the DO is gonna have a breakout season?
I'm gonna try to go with somebody. Are we thinking someone that was on the team last year, or are we going incoming freshman as well?
Whoever.
So I feel like because Ruben Bain is such an elite recruit, and he lives. Apparently, the hype is real. That apparently he's unblockable. If you watch his film, he is unblockable. 58 sacks in high school doesn't seem real. I think people are starting to sleep on Jaden Wayne a little bit, though. That boy looked like a junior. He looked like he 26. I think because of the hype with Bain, Jaden is kind of flying under the radar a little bit. Kind of like how Emory flew under the radar because of Jaden when we were recruiting him. I think right now Wayne is probably flying under the radar a little bit. Look out for Jaden. That kid is a monster. And he's a 5-star recruit. They took his 5th star away from him after he signed with us, and that's nonsense.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we know.
Yeah, so I say Jaden because I think they'll move Bane around a lot. I think he'll be able to play inside, outside. They'll move him around. I think Jaden is a guy that can give us a little bit extra off the edge when we need it. We need somebody on the other side too in the future after this year. I think Jaden will surprise people.
All right. Joe, what you got?
You know who hasn't been mentioned, I don't think once. And I'm about to mention him because I think he's been in the system. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I think with the new DC and Jason Taylor, he's gonna really play to his strengths and his attributes. Because coming out of high school, he was a problem. Chance Williams. Nobody mentioned Chance, man.
Okay.
I haven't heard his name one time.
No.
In anything.
But I've seen him. I haven't heard his name one time, though, man.
Is he hurt?
Chance, this is money year for Chance, too. You know what I mean? Because he could either play or bounce. You know what I mean? So I think if Chance gets the opportunity and earns the opportunity, I think he gonna show up, man.
Don't sleep on Mesidor either.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be moving around a lot this year too. I think they'll move him inside, outside a little bit.
I like my guy's Nigel Kelly, man.
Nigel the freak.
Yeah.
Man, that dude, the size he's put on in 1 year, he still got that baby face. That dude is gonna be a problem. That's my guy. D tackles thin, man. All right, D tackles thin, man. Let's just end this. Son, what are you doing? People can see you, my guy.
Mid point, Ben was trying so hard to be professional. Joe is coming right now.
Yo, finish your point, huh? Finish your point, man.
Yo, that's all I got. Hey, man. Real quick, trying to get serious for like 15 seconds. Hey, Chalupa, man. I'm so happy to have you part of the team, man. I know Jay gave you the introduction, man, but we're blessed. The work that you've done just today, it's been unreal, man. The love that you have for this university. Like I told you, we all got our 9 to 5s, but when it comes to this youth shit, it's just different. Like it don't feel nothing like
different.
work.
It's not work.
You know what I'm saying?
It's not work.
This is what we love to do, man. As the
podcast growing, we need a graphic for this, man. We got a graphic ready for this.
Yeah, we do. I'm gonna have Chalupa, send me a picture and I got you. All right, guys, we got nothing else, man. Yeah, we're gonna be the commitment out here, man. You know what I'm talking about?
Hey,
out here, man. It's that You Heard podcast, man.
Gotta go.
Yeah, never again, Joe. Don't ever wear that shit on
the show. Yo, turn